you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O's, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
all in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O's, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond Moore
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. He is Pierre McGuire. I am Jimmy Murphy. How are you, Pierre?
Very well, Jimmy. How you doing? Good to be back.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you look.
I miss going every day with you. I miss every day.
Well, I was just going to say to our listeners, just a reminder, this is, in terms of our once a week, this is our penultimate once a week show, as we will be one more Wednesday, and then we are back at it every day on September 2nd. So, geez, that's less than 2 weeks away now, Pierre. It flew by. So we will be doing that shortly. I'm looking forward to it as well. But before we do that, we have a great guest coming on today. Joining us probably in about 10 minutes here on the Eye Test will be Laval Rocket head coach Pascal Vincent, who both of us have some history with. Pierre, you were just saying off the air, you used to work some practices with Pascal when he was with the Montreal Juniors, and he has come a long way since then. And of course, had an amazing season last year with the Rocket, was named the AHL Coach of the Year, and took his team to a conference final. So just a great turnaround for him after being let go by Columbus in Laval.
Yeah, you can't equate what happened in Columbus. They have a new general manager. Obviously, he wants to bring in his own guy. He does. And that's not a knock on Pascal at all. I've had that happen to me twice in my career. And you got to go with the punches. You can't take that stuff personally. He moved on. The Canadiens hired a perfect guy for that situation down in Laval. I was at a lot of their games last year. I watched most of their games last year. Pascal and his staff did a really good job with that team, Jimmy. And they developed a lot of players for the Montreal Canadiens. You don't have Zachary Bolduc, I don't believe, in Montreal right now getting ready to play for the Canadiens if you don't have the development that happened with Logan Mailloux. So, I just use that as an example. Everybody's wondering what's going to happen with David Reinbacher. I think David Reinbacher, whether he's ready this year or halfway through the year, he's being developed properly. I think about Jacob Fowler and what's going on with him. Jakob Dobish, what's going on with him? What's going on with Owen Beck? The Canadiens development Jimmy, it was so bad for so long, Jimmy. They weren't producing anything, and they are now. And that's a really good big pat on the back to Pascal.
Yep. So we'll talk to him about all of that in a few here, Pierre. But before we get there, some news around the NHL, Pierre. Some guys getting signed to PTOs. We're starting to see some guys come off the free agent market. One of them this morning, it was officially announced, broke last night, but it was officially announced by the Colorado Avalanche. They signed a forward, Victor Olofsson, a good power play guy, Pierre. Where do you see him fitting in with the Avs? Is that basically why you think they're bringing him in?
He's a pure finisher. And he can really snipe on a power play. Go look at what he did in Rochester in the American Hockey League. Go look at what he did with the Buffalo Sabres before he moved on from there. I don't know why. Buffalo seemingly think about Dylan Cousins, Victor Olofsson. For whatever reason, I can even go back to Tyler Myers. Like, for whatever reason, they get in a rush to want to move guys out. Yeah. And so Victor Olofsson's a good player, and what he's really good at, and you nailed it, Jimmy, he's really good at scoring on the power play. And I would just, I think about it, Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, Mitchell Marner. That power play is going to be pretty good in Vegas, but that's why Victor Olofsson's not there anymore.
Right.
That's why he moves on, because they've got this amazing array of riches there. So he goes to Colorado. I think he'll help Colorado.
Yeah. And Pierre, another thing that, we're kind of getting down to, about 3 weeks probably until training camp starts, right? And there's still some big name restricted free agents out there. And I talked to some agents and GMs around the league, wrote a story last week for RG. And it was interesting that they all brought up the effect of the Jeremy Swayman situation last year. Now, you and I were right on this last year saying this is not going to go well for either side, the team nor the player, because most of them never end well when they go that long and a guy misses camp and the entire preseason. Sometimes it can trickle into the season, but it did not go well for them. And the general feel, except for one guy, was that they do think that will play a role in both from the team side and the player/agent side to accelerating the process as we get closer to camp, which is the real first pressure point to try and get something done. What's your take on how watching that from afar could affect some people in similar situations right now?
A lot. Billy Guerin's got to deal with a couple ones right now,
Yes.
Kaprizov and Rossi. And so that's not easy, obviously. And here's the way I look at it. You talked about training camp being a deadline. I don't think the players see that as a deadline.
Mhm. I
I think coaches see that as a deadline because they know what happens when players miss camp. It takes longer. The players don't think that. They're like, oh, I'm bigger than that. I can get – no, you can't. I've been through this probably 5 or 6 times as a coach or an executive, and it doesn't work well. And I remember talking to you on this show.
Oh, yeah.
If Jeremy Swayman is not in camp before it starts, guess what? He's going to have a bad year.
Yep.
And
And
you
he
know
did.
what? He had a bad year.
Yeah, he did, and it's sort of it was a ripple effect there, and it's interesting. I got a message on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, from our good friend Andy Strickland yesterday. He says, "Hey, I'm bringing on Jimmy Montgomery as a guest for my next episode here. Can you just give me insight as to what the heck went wrong, in the first couple months there, leading into him getting let go?" And that was the first thing I said. Now he didn't see my answers, I guess, until he actually did the interview. And he got back to me, says, he pretty much said everything you said there. So he said that Jimmy Montgomery did allude to that and said, yeah, it was tough for us. Like everyone was behind the 8 ball, so to speak, right away.
That negotiation, and Donnie Sweeney and Cam Neely can get as mad as they want at me. I can tell you right now, that negotiation wasn't handled well.
No.
Well, it was not. And then not making it personal. I'm just telling you,
No.
They didn't handle it well.
Yeah.
And it started way back in the summer, at the beginning of the summer.
Draft.
Yeah. So, you can look back at and hopefully they learn from that. Not everybody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Like Kenny Holland made a plethora of mistakes when he was running Detroit. Lou Lamoriello made mistakes. These are some of the best managers. Pat Quinn was an amazing general manager. Lots of guys make mistakes. Brian Burke would tell you, and he's a Stanley Cup winning GM. He's made mistakes. Like we all make mistakes when it comes to player procurement and negotiating deals. But that one was a big one.
Yeah.
That Boston one was a big one on Swayman.
Well,
it really was.
Go back to Allmark. Like I just
that's why I don't want to get too deep in the weeds because I don't want to bore people.
Yeah.
But the thing on Allmark, don't trade Allmark till you got Swayman signed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start to monitor what Swayman's saying, and he's like, "I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for all the other goalies in the league."
That's when it went.
And I remember telling you, Jimmy, as soon as that got public, I said, "Oh boy, Jeremy Jacobs, Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, no. They're not running the whole league. They're running the Boston Bruins. They don't care about the other players."
Right.
And when he said that, I was like, "Oh man." I remember saying it right on this show. It's like, "Oh boy, this is going to get really bad."
And it did. It did. But we look ahead just quickly before we move on from the topic there. A guy like Marco Rossi here, he's had amazing offensive stats. He's been consistent when it comes to the offense there. If you're the Wild, what are you utilizing to bring his ass down a bit to kind of say, hey, you got to improve on this, and that for us to get to that point? How are you looking at it in terms of looking at his game?
You don't want to break the player because eventually you want that player to play for you. Mm-hmm. So if you treat him with ill regard, you could break him. I mean, I've seen that happen too, where managers just say, "You know what, you're no good at this, and you're no good at this, and you're not." And all of a sudden the guy goes, "Well, what am I good at?" And so why do you want me then if I'm no good at everything?
Right.
And that's what used to happen back in the 70s and 80s and even in the 90s. I think one of the ways of dealing with him is that you got a chance to be part of a really good team. Like Minnesota could be a really good team.
Yeah.
But we could be better if we have you.
Right.
Now, maybe he responds to that. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But eventually something's going to happen there. If he's not signed by camp, I think he'll be moved.
I do too.
I mean, I don't know what the price point will be, but I don't think Minnesota's going to mess around this year. They know they're going in the right direction. They got the relief now with Suter and Parise's contracts being off the books. They really want to get Kaprizov signed. I think if you do a queue up, he's ahead of Rossi. In terms of who do you need more? You need Kaprizov more than you need Marco Rossi.
Right. And I would look at it though, Pierre. So let's say you get to that point where you're like, all right, we're going to have to move him. Do you have to get a center back, or can it just be something that addresses another specific need?
I think they're just going to manage their roster, what they have. And if they need another center, maybe you get it. But I think if you're trading a young player like that, you probably try to get the best available player, regardless as to whether he's defense or whether he's a forward or a center man. It doesn't matter. But I think you try to get the best player, the maximum value for that player, because you don't want to just say, yeah, we got to get a center. The guy coming back may not be as good. Yeah. So I think you try to get the very best player you can get.
And of course, I know because of him and also McTavish, everyone was trying to say all summer, we're going to see offer sheets. Didn't happen. It just.
Well, no, offer sheets and arbitration. I hate to keep doing this, but just watch the show and we'll tell you before. Yeah. That was so easy to predict. Yeah. Arbitration. There wasn't one arbitration. There wasn't one.
No.
They all got settled on the courthouse steps, every single one of them.
Yeah.
Some of them even before they got to the courthouse. And in terms of offer sheets, I remember clearly saying on the show, not a chance.
Right.
I don't think people, and this is not a knock on anybody. The economics of hockey aren't as great as everybody thinks. Right. They're good, but they're not as great as everybody thinks.
All right. Well, listen, we'll get into more of that in our Q&A maybe later, but let's welcome on our guest of the day here, Laval Rocket head coach Pascal Vincent, joining us here on the eye test. Hey, Coach, how are you?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good.
Oh, Pascal, great to see you again. Thank you for coming on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's just came back from vacations with my family. Nice. And back to work today. So it's you're my first people I'm really talking hockey with this summer.
Oh,
so it's good. Good to see you. Pierre, it's been a while.
I know. I've been watching you from afar. Don't worry. And my pony, Mark Recchi, was working for you last year. So I kept up on you. Don't worry.
Pascal, looking back on this year, and congratulations on the Coach of the Year award and the season you guys had. But if you go back to this time last year, so let's say last August, and you're entering the season, what was your main goal, main expectations, and how much were you able to meet them or per se exceed them?
That was a weird summer. Mm-hmm. I'm in Columbus. There's a new GM coming in. I'm not sure what's happening. And then I finally get the word that I'm being let go. And for some reason, the timing of the guy that was here in Laval before me got a job somewhere else, and he decided to take it, JF Hull. And so the job in Laval is open. And you guys know, not very often you get the chance to work in your home city. In the profession we're in, it doesn't happen. So the Montreal people are calling John Sedgwick and speak to him a few times, and they finally offer me the job, speak to my family, and decide to come back because I still had a year left in my contract with Columbus, so I could have just take a year and think about stuff, but this opportunity was great. So I'm coming to Laval with a year behind my belt as a head coach in the National Hockey League, and the mistakes were made. I've learned a lot, and it was a hard season. So when I got the job, it's going to be a real simple answer. I just wanted to have fun doing what I do for a living, which is coaching hockey, because I lost it. And that was one of the first thing I wanted to find again, is going to the rink, find some joy, going to the rink and have fun and find solutions, win and lose together, but find solutions, help people develop, work with the staff that we're all on the same page. And that was my mindset. I didn't have a long-term vision. I just wanted to help the team. My goal in the American League is to help the young guys develop, and hopefully those guys will help the Montreal Canadiens win the Stanley Cup in the future.
I had so much fun watching your team play this year, Pascal. I was there numerous times live. I watched a bunch on Flow TV. I thought you did a magnificent job, you and your staff. But what I found really amazing, and I said this to Jimmy before, the development that happened with a player like David Reinbacher, the development that happened with a player like Owen Beck, the development that happened with a player like Sean Farrell, who had a really tough start to the year, as you know, that's such a tribute to you. How much did you delegate to your assistants? How much of that is you paying attention to all the little details?
Yeah, so what happened last summer, Pierre, I get the job 4 years before camp, right? So it's things happen in the summer and Babs get let go or he leaves, whatever, we all know. And you don't get to choose your staff. There's a lot of people, there's a staff, there's people I know, but eventually you don't get to choose your staff. Funny thing is I come to Laval and everybody's hired already. I get the job as a head coach, but the whole staff is there. I know most of them, some that I know really well, and some others that I just know by their names. And I don't really have a history with those people. So I'm kind of in the same boat, different leagues, obviously, but I really want to make this work. And I really want to delegate properly, over communicate at first, establish the standards and the non-negotiables for my values and my vision of what needs to be done in order to be successful. So we've had a lot of success last year, and I think there's a lot of people involved in the process. First, the scouting department, they're doing an amazing job. I mean, you can develop good players if the foundation is there. They're good people. They want to be coached. And that's the one thing that was really fun this year is, even Sean Farrell having a slow start, never one time. I can't tell you that one time he was negative. He wanted to be coached. He wanted to get better. And it's true for all the players. We didn't have any issues all year as far as, working hard, trying to learn, trying to improve, trying to grow. The assistant coaches are very, very good. They work really, really well together. And there is no ego. We all work well together because there is no ego. I had no issues. I've never did, but when you're supported by the right people, going in the room and saying, I made the wrong decision. Let's fix it together. And that's what we did. And we had a real strong coaching staff, players that are foundation is they're good players and they want to be coached. Coaching staff that are on the same page, have one vision. Organization is supporting what we're doing. Their message is clear. We know our mission. We know our goal. We have to play the kids. So it seems like everything fits. And the coaching staff, again, was outstanding. And it's not a one-man show. It's not me. I brought my leadership, my vision, and we adjusted. We were adaptable during the season, and the results were there.
In terms of you talk about fitting in, I know you've only had him for a short time at the end of the season there last year, and then in the playoffs. What was your first impressions of Jacob Fowler?
This guy could be a captain. No, I'm serious. He could be. His attitude is phenomenal. He's it's hard to explain this young man. He comes in a room, he doesn't know anyone or barely knows a few guys, and he fits right in. He knows when to speak. He knows when not to. He goes on the ice. He works hard. He's obviously very talented, but he's got some leadership attributes to him that I didn't see very often, especially in the goalie. And
right.
Because it's almost a sport within the sport, being a goalie. And for him to come in the room and just be that mature and fit the way he did fit in the room was quite remarkable. And I was really impressed with him.
Pascal, I'm going to tell you who he reminds me of, because I probably saw him more than most of your scouts, and that he reminds me of Marty Brodeur at the same age.
Is that right?
He really does. I tried to recruit Marty when he was 16-year-old out of Montreal Bourassa, playing midget AAA before he went to St. Hyacinthe. And I will tell you right now, the similarities are shocking to me.
Is that right?
And what you just said, you can tell everybody. We never rehearsed this. You nailed it. This kid is a leader. He's a champion mentality. His standards are amazingly high. Canadians are in good shape. I got to ask you about one player that blew me away this year. I had seen Florian Xhekaj play junior. What you did with him, I'd like to know, how did you communicate with him to create his role? Because I thought of all your young players, he's the one guy that really, I thought, elevated.
Well, we didn't know his ceiling, right? I met with him first at the rookie camp in Montreal last September. And we're not sure. Like we're on the fence as far as, do we keep him? Do we send him back junior? And most people in the management are, we got to keep him. But if we keep him, you have to commit to play the guy. Mm-hmm. And I saw him at the rookie camp, and we didn't know either. Are we going to develop him as a winger or a center, or he can't play both? We know it. He played a little bit of center. And I'm thinking Adam Lowry, because I had him in Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, exactly.
And I saw him as a 20 years old. And Adam is Adam and Florian is Florian. They're different players, but there's a few things that are similar. And I'm thinking, if we can develop this young man as a center with the size that he's got, and he's got skills that are surprising, even to me. By the end of the season, in the playoffs, I could see some stuff he was doing on the ice. He kept surprising me because we don't know his ceiling. We don't know how good he can be. So we started the season. We said, okay, we're going to keep him. We're going to develop him as a center, and we're going to give him the ice time that he needs to have in order to develop. And sometimes it doesn't mean more ice time. Sometimes it's less. Mm-hmm. Put them in a position to succeed. And he just, every bit of information that I gave him or the assistant coaches gave him, he was mainly on the PK, working with the face-off guys. We had Mark Bureau come in here a few times, working with him, learning from the veterans. Our captain Condotta, Dauphin, on how to take face-offs. And he just kept being really good at what he was doing. Not a million things, but he was confident. First of all, he was really confident in his abilities, real good team player, well respected in the room because, well, first of all, he's a good person. And two, he goes out there with a little bit of, there's an edge to him. There's that, I don't want to say cockiness, but he knows he belongs and he knows he can make a difference. And for him to go out there and not only in games, but in practices, and he was one of the first guy to come in and practice, and I'm handling the puck and he takes the puck away from me. And guys don't do that usually early in the season, especially as a rookie. And he looks at me and he waits a second to see how is he going to react. Is he going to be pissed at me or is going to, and I thought it was funny, but I liked his guts. And Flo, supported by the team, was able to be Flo Xhekaj, and he was able to develop. We had a guy that is well respected in the league. His name is Vincent Arsenault. He's a tough guy in our league. Yeah, really, really tough. And for Flo to have a guy like him next to him really helped him feel more comfortable that, okay, if things go south tonight, I still have Vinny next to me that can take care and protect me. So his face-off abilities improved. His PK, we wanted to play him on the PK. He's got a long reach. We wanted to develop his awareness defensively and playing the PK. I didn't put him too often on the power play. I know he can play on the power play. He's got a great shot. He's accurate. He's good in that front. But I want him to save the energy in his game for his 5-on-5 development. So he played all the games, developed extremely well. Like I said, coachable, very talented, more than people think. He's obviously, by the end of the year, he ended up being the most penalized player in the league as a 20-year-old, and he scored 24 goals, never played really on the power play, but he's got this timing in him that he's scoring big goals at key moments, and that's a skill by itself. And what I like about him is he enjoys coming to the rink.
That's awesome.
And he's got this persona. He's got his attitude is contagious. Even though he was just a rookie this year, he was contagious, and I feel fortunate to have had the chance to coach him. And who knows what's going to happen next year, but he's going to be in the NHL sooner than later, in my mind.
No, but I agree with you, Pascal. I agree 100%.
Coach, how impressed were you with David Reinbacher's ability to come back from an injury like that so early in his career and progressively get better as the season went on?
Yeah, his computer is quite amazing. He reads the play so well and so quick with so much poise. For a guy like him to come in, like I said, like our scouts, Marty Lapointe and their staff, and Nick Brobrov, they did an amazing job drafting really good, smart players. And Reinbacher comes in, he's injured and he can't play. He's watching videos. He's with Montreal. He comes with us. He's trying to help. We try to get him involved as much as we can. But it's the end of the season, and the American League, somehow it's different than the NHL, and some parts of those games are a little bit harder for players like him. Guys are not always at the right spot, or guys fumble passes or misses opportunities to shoot the puck when they whatever. So for some parts of the game, the American League is sometimes a little bit harder. So he comes in late in the season, and the first game he plays, I'm first of all, I want to make sure that we support him in a sense that we play him enough, but not too much, and making sure that we protect him. And he responded so well with his composure. We could see it in practice, but it's a practice.
Yeah.
But to do it in the game and to see options beyond the first one that was available to him, and making those plays and connecting and executing those plays at a high speed was quite impressive. And so we've played with his recovery, played one game, or played 2 games, didn't play the third game. So we wanted to make sure he was really ready and completely recovered from the injury. But his ability to read the game, like I said, his computer is fantastic.
Well, Coach, we're not going to keep you much longer. I just want to say congratulations. You had an amazing year. It's such an awesome building to be in. But I want to share this with you because I would be remiss if I didn't. One of the guys I sit next to at the Hockey Hall of Fame on the selection committee, and there are only 18 of us in the room, is a guy that you know very well. His name is Mark Chipman. Mark is an amazing friend of mine. And here's what I want you to know that he said to me, because I told him how much I respected the job you did this past year. He said, this is just a way station for him. He will be back in the NHL sooner rather than later. I wanted you to know that from an owner in the National Hockey League.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Coach, we appreciate you taking the time, and good luck this season, and we'll catch you down the road, all right?
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. Pascal, I'll be in touch. I'll get in touch with you. Way to go.
Please do. Okay, thank you.
Good. Laval Rocket head coach Pascal Vincent join us here on the eye test. Man, he's come a long way, Pierre. You're right.
So I watched his teams playing Winnipeg. He's in the American League, and so this is what people don't know. So he's coaching Florian Xhekaj, and he's a 20-year-old kid. He doesn't know whether they can keep him or not because he doesn't know if he can play in the league.
Right.
But then the upper management, this is where they're all singing from the same songbook. If you're a fan of the Canadiens, you're happy about this. And the manager says, if you keep him, you're playing him. Because if you're not playing him, we're not keeping him. And he says, I'll play him. We'll keep him. And look what happened. And so the smart thing is, I know the player can play on the power play, but I don't want it. I had Adam Lowry in Winnipeg.
Yeah, that was a really interesting analogy.
That was such a good sound. Nobody else has had that soundbite.
Nope.
That's a brilliant soundbite from him. And so it shows you, here's how we manipulate. You know how I tell you all the time, you bring players into the room and say, who's a player in the league you want to be like? And maybe they're on base, maybe they're off base. But if you find they're on base, you say, okay, I'm going to make you a 3-minute tape of that player. And then I'm going to make you a 3-minute tape of you. And now we're going to compare. How are we going to get you to where you want to be, the player that you really respect in the league? Now, sometimes people just say stupid stuff and they can't. You're never going to be that player. Like, don't tell me you want to be Sidney Crosby. You're not going to be Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Like, let's get the proper comparable.
Yeah.
Anyways, long story short, that was fascinating. That just shows you how good a coach he is, because he does pay attention to those things. And Montreal's developing young players at an amazing rate. Amazing. And I love what he said about Fowler, because, again, we don't rehearse this.
No?
Like, I'm telling you right now, the characteristics of Fowler, I'm not saying he's a better goalie. The characteristics of the player are the same as what I saw in a 16 and 17-year-old Marty Brodeur.
Yep.
The same.
You know what I found interesting too? The two players he really focused on. You just mentioned Fowler there and Xhekaj as well. And it was sort of a common thread with what he was saying about their, like, they've got this swagger, but it's controlled, and they know they're good, but it's not cockiness. It's just a good swagger. And it was interesting because I don't know, when it was around the draft, when I talked to Jeff Gordon for that story I did, and he said the same thing about Fowler. He said, I love the swagger he has. It's not cockiness, Murph, but it's the perfect swagger, not only for a goalie to have, but for a kid at his age to already have. And it seems like that and sort of the leadership qualities in those two guys, that seems to be a common thread in a lot of guys that Canadians are drafting, Pierre. Not just obviously the skill. They're really looking for this certain personality, so to speak, to be consistent throughout their prospects. I
would agree. I would agree. And I think part of that is because of the city that they're in.
Yep.
If you got guys that are going to melt,
no,
you don't bring them to Montreal. Like, there's certain cities you can get away with that.
Yep.
Because, you're not scrutinized 24/7 like you are in Montreal or Toronto or Ottawa. And I won't say the cities that are easier than others, but there are some.
Right.
Because you're just not near the top of the food chain. Nothing's bigger in Montreal than Montreal Canadiens hockey. Nothing.
Yeah.
So you better have some personality when you go there.
And also thick skin as well, as you pointed out there.
Yeah.
That's huge. Yeah. All right, let's talk about our sponsor here, Betway. Right now, you're starting to get more hockey bets available. So you want to go over to Betway right now. If you're not a member yet, go to QR code right there, or go to the member section on the website and sign up for your new membership there. And you can get rewarded up to $200 on your first bet, even if it loses. So go to Betway right now. And always bet responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 18, and good luck. All right, let's get to the Q&A. What do we got? Sound the siren. What's going on, my friend? Any current word on the Mason McTavish situation in Anaheim? And is this going too long type of situation, or am I looking too deep? Pierre, I don't think it's obviously longer than either side wants, but at the same time, as you were just saying, and we discussed earlier, there's pressure points. They're not there yet. If we are having this conversation a month from now, then there's going to be issues.
Yeah, I would say they're getting close to
a
deadline. Now, he's in a tougher situation, the player is, because in order for him to put extreme pressure on the team, they got to get an offer sheet.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about this. There are no offer sheets. It's just not happening.
Yep.
And so the team's got a little bit more jam right now. And the PA doesn't want to hear this. The agents don't want to hear this. But they just have a little bit more jam than right now on the Pat Verbeek and his group, because there hasn't been an offer sheet.
Yep.
If there had been an offer sheet, they have the right to match. And if they don't match, then they take the compensation.
Interesting you bring that up too. It's a year to the day that the Blues put those offer sheets on Broberg and Holloway.
I still can't believe, my heart breaks.
Well, I guess we're still in that. Yeah,
I'm happy for Doug Armstrong. I'm thrilled for our friend Jimmy Montgomery. We're both huge Jimmy Montgomery fans. So I'm really happy he eventually got to St. Louis and got those players. But that breaks my heart for Stan Bowman and for everybody. Chris Knobloch. I think if both those players are there, I'm not saying they're winning the Stanley Cup, but they're not getting wiped out in games 5 and 6 like they were this year. They're not. I'm just telling you.
All right, next question. Bert L., what kind of pressure do sons of former players feel compared to players without fathers that worked or played hockey professionally? Thinking of sons of Domi, Brodeur, Brindamore, etc. Pierre, you'll know this better than me, but before you say it too, one thing I always remembered when I was younger was finding out that Bobby Orr's son, and Bobby was happy about it, he didn't play hockey.
He went to Belmont Hill, which is an elite hockey place.
Exactly. And that was the reason I was given when I think it was Russ Conway actually who told me about that. So
I actually think there's less pressure on those kids And I think those kids, they're around it. So they see what their fathers have done to prepare to be ready. And so I actually think I think players or coaches' children have more of an advantage if the kids have grown up in a professional hockey household. I think there's less pressure, not more. I really do.
We look at it. All right, next question.
And I'm right now. I can tell you, my son signed as a player in Minnesota, and he called me 3 weeks ago and he said, "Dad, from this date to this date, I'd like to work out with you." And so I said, "Well, you either come to Canada and I'll meet you at our house, or you come to South Carolina." He goes, "I've been in the rink all summer since the season ended. I've been in the rink." So I said, "Okay, well, what are you telling me? I want to come train cardio and physically with you in South Carolina."
That's awesome.
So he's here now. The last 3 days, it's been, Paris Island, a marine facility.
Yep.
Just up the road.
Right there.
Well, that's what we're doing every day. I said, "You wanted to come, man?"
Yep.
The only problem is he's a lot younger and stronger than me, so I'm a little bit more tired.
Pierre, you can hang with the best of them still. I've seen it. So, all right, next question. Alex Ivanowski, what's up, Alex? Are you surprised Pittsburgh hasn't tried to unload Russ, Raquel, or Carlson yet? I would think they would want to try and bottom out this year, given where they are. Alex, I can tell you as a fact, they have tried to unload at least Carlson. I've heard things about the other ones. It hasn't been as confirmed, but they've definitely tried to unload Carlson.
I'm going to support my partner in this 100%. We did not talk about this before the show. They have definitely tried to trade all three of those players. They definitely have.
And it's just, it hasn't happened.
And I will say this, I don't agree with trading Rust because he's a Penguin. Yep. He's a drafted player out of Notre Dame. He is a Penguin hockey player. And if Crosby's going to stay there, you got to keep some of those guys around.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of them left, but he's one of them. And he's an honorable man and a very good player. That's why the Americans are bringing him to training camp. Billy Guerin to the Olympic training camp. Billy Guerin was part of the management team that drafted Brian Rust.
Right. In Pittsburgh.
So I'm just telling you, I don't want to get in a fight with the Pittsburgh Penguins because it's not my business.
Right.
But I'm just saying, you better keep some of those guys around. Trading Carlson's no problem. I don't know why they acquired Carlson. I said that when they did it. What are they doing?
Yeah.
And in terms of Raquel's a good player. He can help somebody. But he's not a Penguin. He's a Duck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, next question. Bill Van Vagel, how does a CHL rebound from the talent train, improve their facilities, promote their pro-style game and schedule, promote tradition and history of the drafted players, or just plain recruit harder? I think a lot of their places are high-end, right? A lot of their facilities right now, Pierre?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's an issue. I think the biggest thing is going to be realize that you're going to have players from 16 to 19, and then they're probably going to leave. So you're not going to have – the overagers at 20, you're not going to have guys going to the NHL at 19. The whole business of hockey is going to change. I think guys are going to be later getting into the league because of this. But this is okay. And I don't want the major junior guys mad at me. I got a lot of friends that coach in major junior. I think it's going to be eye-opening for a lot of these young guys that everybody thinks are going to come down from major junior and rip up college hockey. I think by the time we get to Christmas, people are going to say, what happened to that player? How come that guy's not better? Wait a second. He was a top 5 pick. You watch. When you're playing against 16 and 17-year-olds and you're running up big point totals as an 18-year-old, that's one thing. You've earned that. But when you're 18, turning 19, and you're playing against 23 and 24-year-old guys, which is what college hockey is, you're not putting up those numbers. You're not.
Yep, I'm with Pierre on that one. It's going to be interesting to see how it affects next year. All right, next question. WPHL, do you think the NHL should unban the spin-a-rammer in the shootout? That's an interesting question.
I would like to see the NHL do away with the shootout.
I would too.
I think we should have ties. There's nothing wrong with a tie. For the longest time, this league did have ties. There was no overtime back in the day when I was a kid growing up. You
didn't have overtime then, huh?
They didn't have overtime. When
wow.
you tie at the end of 60 minutes, it was a tie game. That's just how it was.
Okay.
I like overtime. And with the great Mark Madden in Pittsburgh yesterday, he was running some things by me. And one of the things he said that I thought was really smart, I said, let's extend overtime to 7 minutes, 3-on-3. He said, no, Pierre, how about if we do this? We go 4-on-4 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like hockey. It
Yeah.
is. And then my biggest fear is they're going to go from 82 to 84 games.
Right.
Most of the top players play in overtime.
Of course.
So those are the guys that pay the price physically. And if you look at what we got going on right now, the Olympics coming up, the best players there, we had the 4 nations last year. There's talk of another type of event going forward. And then you have the Olympics 4 years down the road. Again, like I don't want to see star players have their careers curtailed because they're playing extra time and overtime.
Right.
And if you're on it, so I said, let's go 7. But what he said was smart, I think. If you go 4-on-4, that's less
10 minutes too.
less wear and tear.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get a decision after 10 minutes. And if you don't, then you play, it's a tie. But they're talking about going to a 3-2-1, 3 points for a regulation win, 2
Yeah,
points.
like soccer and stuff. Yeah.
Well, okay, so you go do that, okay? And by January 1st, you watch how many teams are eliminated.
Yep.
And then you're going to have half-empty buildings. It's not good for the business of hockey. It is not.
No, they're going to lose the parity. That's a great point. Pierre, if refresh my memory, what did they do for overtime in the 4 nations again? Was it what Mark Madden suggested?
I don't think they did. I think
Didn't they
it was
do like
just
4-on-4? I thought they did.
Maybe they did. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay.
I told you it was not an event that I was very happy about.
It definitely did not stay in your memory, sure, except for all the injuries.
Yeah, the injuries did.
Yeah. All right. Next question.
I love it when
Marek, how are you? Hello, Pierre. Hello, Jimmy. After HCG Worldwide is now in discussion that Verhoff is similar or even better than Schaefer, what is your opinion on the topic? I have not seen him play enough. I cannot.
I have for a while. I just think Schaefer's probably a little bit better because Schaefer, you'll see, there's a composure factor in him, but Verhoffer's a really good player. He's really good. And
all right. Next question.
No, but all I would say is this. Schaefer, I hope they don't rush him.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope they don't rush him because he hadn't played a lot because of injury. He's a heck of a player, Jimmy. He's really a special, and he's a great kid. He's a great kid. One day he'll be the captain of that team on Long Island. He will be.
All right. What do we got? Next question. Juice _031 017. What is the greatest goaltending performance you ever saw when broadcasting a World Junior Tournament? Great question.
Carey Price.
Oh, yeah.
Carey Price in Leksand, Sweden, in the shootout against the Americans.
Yeah. He was amazing.
And people forget the Canadians had to kill off a massive penalty at the end of regulation, and he had to come up with some big saves in one of the games. Carey Price, World Junior. There were some other ones that were really good. Al Montoya for the Americans in 2004.
Yeah.
But he was great. But Fleury was really good in 2003 to get Canada to the gold medal game. But no, I'm going to say Price, and that was 2007. That was 2007 in Leksand. And Justin Pogge actually in 2006 was really good too. He was 2006 in Vancouver. Justin Pogge, and the tournament goalie of the tournament that year was a guy you know very well. His name is Tuukka Rask.
Oh yeah, Tuukka
Rask. And so the Toronto Maple Leafs had to choose between Justin Pogge or Tuukka Rask. They chose Justin Pogge and traded Tuukka Rask.
What are you gonna do? All right, next question. Gabriel Lamb. Hey Jimmy, did you see the ECHL is expanding to Augusta, Georgia? Yes, we did, Gabe.
Yeah, and it's not going to be for next season. It's a year after. So 26, 27. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Somebody was actually just asking me, Pierre, after we discussed that earlier this afternoon, do you think Manchester will get a team again? Manchester, New Hampshire.
If they don't get an ECHL team, I think they're going to get a major junior team.
Okay. Coming down from the queue?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
I will say, I'm not afraid to say it. I talked to a gentleman who's a friend of mine that's extremely wealthy. And I said, I'm just telling you, if you want to do something really creative on the hockey side of things, go get a major junior team and put it in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Yep. Yeah. For those that aren't from the area, that's a big hockey area.
It's a huge hockey town, and they develop a lot of players. And I know people say, well, what about the University of New Hampshire? It's in Durham. It's a little bit away. It's not the same.
That's on the coast.
Yeah. So it's not going to affect what's going on in Manchester. And if you think about where Manchester's So there's some really good hockey markets just south of Massachusetts. There's some really good hockey markets along the way up to Concord. Like I'm just telling you, I would put a major junior team in Manchester.
Yep, I agree. All right, next question. Sean McIntyre. Hey guys, I think people are sleeping on Tyler Thorpe. He might have a chance to make the team this year. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, sure. I don't know about Russian guys, but I don't think anybody's sleeping. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, next question. Guys, can you see both Xhekaj brothers on the same line in training camp?
No, because I don't think Florian's going to play D, and I don't think that Arbor's going to move up to play forward. So
Not yet.
No, I don't think so. I could see them maybe fighting each other in camp. I'm joking, by the way, but I was really blown away by Florian last year. I thought Florian was really good.
I remember you starting to talk about him in the beginning, like there's something with this kid. And
I was at the games. I was like, this guy's good.
Yep. All right, next question. CMO hockey training. Pierre, do you think Ryan Suzuki has a chance to crack the fourth line of the Canes this year? He had a great year with the Wolves and was finally healthy. What worries me is he might not have enough jam.
That's where I'm at. So it's not because he's not courageous. I just don't know if he leans on people enough. So I would agree with that, but he had an amazing year. He and Bradley Nadeau in Chicago had really good years for the Wolves. Very good.
Right. Yeah. They got him coming. All right, next question. Paul Cormier. Hi, guys. Since you both have the pulse on Northeast hockey, my niece's boy is going to be playing for the South Shore Kings. So, wow. What can you tell me about the league?
I know a lot about the league. Long time ago, my son was drafted in that league too. The same year, he had 3 different leagues drafted him: the USHL, the NCDC, and the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. It was kind of cool. So that league's the NCDC. South Shore Kings are one of the preeminent franchises in that league. They're really good. Charlie Coyle was there. Yeah. Chris Wagner played there. So they're a good team. Matty Beniers did not play in the NCDC, but he did play for the South Shore Kings. Right. So did Brett Berard, who's part of the New York Rangers. So I know they're
and just some people up here too. We should tell so these teams transcend into different leagues. It's all under the USPHL, but they have specific leagues that it's broken down into.
So no, they have a good program there. They really do. So
they've been there since I was a kid. Pierre, it's like
so that's great. I'm glad that Paul's was it nephew? I think he says nephew. Yeah. That's exciting. That's good.
Good luck to him. Enjoy it. All right. Next question. CMOG training. Hey, Pierre, how underrated was Michael Handzus as a 2C in the 2013 Cup run for the Hawks? Good face-off guy and good PK guy. Sneaky pickup by Stan Bowman for, I believe, a late-round pick. Great call.
So Michael Handzus' nickname was Zeus. He was originally drafted by, I think, our buddy Matt Cater with the St. Louis Blues. Handzus was a really good pick. Vastly underrated. He was never as good as Kopitar, but there were a lot of similarities to how he played. But Handzus was a very underrated player. That's going way back. But Michael Handzus was a really good player for a long time in the league. Really good player for a long time.
All right, next question. Juice_031-017. Pierre, what was the best Russian team you ever saw during your broadcasting days of the World Juniors?
Well, I can do it even one better. I think the best Russian team I ever saw was 89. 89 Russian team was off the charts, like crazy. Mogilny and Bure and Fedorov. And
oh, my God.
Yeah.
All on one team.
Yeah. all on one line. That's probably one of the best ones I saw. I would say the broadcasting ones, 05 was good. They had Malkin and Ovechkin.
Yep.
And they were really good. Canada beat them, but Canada beat them because they beat up Ovechkin. Ovechkin never finished the game. There were some huge hits on Ovechkin early in the game, so he got pulled after it brought a shift or two in the second period. I'm going to say the 05 World Junior team from Russia that won silver or got a silver. It's probably the best Russian team I saw when I was broadcasting.
And speaking of Fedorov, congratulations to him on getting his number finally retired. Yep.
Long overdue.
Yes, it was.
Good. That's really good.
Had a good conversation with our mutual friend Scotty Bowman about that yesterday, Pierre.
Good. That's
talking about when he switched him to defense. It was great.
Well, you know why? Did he tell you why he did that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Because he wanted him to play more minutes. He thought if he played defense, he'd get more minutes.
yeah. He also said that Sergei's father was very vocal at that time.
Well, because they wanted more minutes.
Yeah.
They weren't beating out. They weren't getting more minutes than I
All right, I'm gonna put him on team. There you go.
They want him to get more minutes. Yeah.
There you go. All right, next question. Juice, Pierre, outside of having a true number one center, is having a top pairing right-handed shot defenseman the hardest position to fill on an NHL team?
A lot of people think that. I think that's a fair assessment. I think having an elite goalie who can play 60 or more starts and be consistent over a 10-year period, that's pretty hard to find. Really hard to find. But if you can find that, you own that, and you got a real good chance to win with consistency.
All right, next question. Randy, Jimmy, and Pierre, would you give up Ben Danford plus 2 more pieces to the Blues for Jordan Kyrou?
Who are the other 2 pieces? Like, I'm not giving up Coronado. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure that's who. If I were St. Louis, I'm not doing a Kyrou deal unless I get Coronado back.
Right.
So I don't think they're trading him, are they?
No.
So I don't know. I don't know how that. Why are they in a rush to trade Jordan Kyrou?
I don't get it.
No, because Doug's done some really good things there.
Yeah.
Like, I think St. Louis done some really good things.
Do they think they have too much of the position?
But after you trade Bolduc,
oh yeah, right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, we haven't heard his name much this summer after we did at the draft, Pierre. It just sort of went to the wayside. So maybe they decide, all right, no, we're keeping him. All right, next question. Of course, he'll be traded in 10 minutes. Bill Van Viegel, are you surprised Milan Lucic signed a PTO? I know he has had some issues, but nobody would give him a vet minimum deal. Is he considered too risky a signing?
Yeah, I think that's part of it because of his age and the injuries. He's got a really bad back. I think Jimmy knows that probably as well or better than anybody. But it's interesting. The team that gives him a chance is Doug Armstrong and the St. Louis Blues. Who's the coach there? A guy named Montgomery, I think, right? Yeah. Didn't he have him in Boston?
He did have him in Boston. He was there when everything off ice, went the wrong way. It shows you. Now, I don't know this for a fact. Maybe we'll watch Andy Strickland's podcast with Monty, but I would imagine that Monty maybe has, helped him along the way or kept in touch with him because, that was interesting. St. Louis, that came out of nowhere.
They've both battled the same
they've
team.
both been through similar situations. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if Milan can get back there and make the team. All right, next question. Juice, are you surprised Lane Hudson was not invited for Team USA orientation camp for the upcoming Olympics? I'll say quickly, Pierre, before you do, yes, I'm surprised, but it doesn't mean he's not going to be there. I get it. I get the frustration from Habs fans right now and probably from Hudson's, camp, but Patrice Bergeron, 2010, there's your perfect example. So it's not always etched in stone. And to make clear, Pierre, a lot of people are getting this confused on social. This is not a training camp. This is not even an on-ice camp. This is a informational, and this is how Billy Guerin put it to me, an informational orientation camp. So they're just talking a lot, looking at videos and all that stuff, but you can't get cut from this camp. It's not really a camp. It's just a list. So Pierre, I'll let you go from there.
You got it. That's good. Yep. 2002, Jerome McGinley was not invited to Team Canada's training camp.
Mm-hmm. It was different.
And then an injury happened, and he was in Edmonton, and the camp was at Father David Bauer Arena in Calgary, and they called Jerome on a whim, and he drove down his F-150 Ford pickup truck. He got out of the pickup truck carrying his own bag. He went on the ice. He was one of the best players, and they kept him.
Yep.
But he wasn't invited to. I think this is all much to do about nothing. I feel terrible that Lane is being exposed to this. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot that goes into that. Mm-hmm. Something tells me that somebody in USA Hockey is upset that he didn't go to the World Championships. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. I think that maybe there are people on Lane's team, and I'm not talking Montreal, I'm talking about management team or agency that maybe have had, and I don't know this, but maybe have had crossed wires with somebody at USA Hockey. And so I think this is maybe a learning lesson.
I do too. And given what we've seen of this player so far and the person, he's very competitive and dedicated. Yeah. He'll use it as motivation.
I think it does a lot. I think it sends a message to a lot of players too.
Right.
Long term and short term.
Yep. Exactly.
So I don't think this is a reflection on Lane at all. If Lane stays healthy and plays the way he's capable of, I truly believe he will be at the Olympics.
Yep. And if he's not, there's 2 weeks of rest for him heading into the final stretch of the season.
I believe he will be there.
All right, next question. Bill Van Vagel, why have players such as Jack Rosalick and Matt Grizzlick remain unsigned?
I think teams are trying to open up cap space. Toronto in particular, I think.
We're going to see a lot of these guys, I think.
Yeah,
soon.
I think you'll see them start to get signed here pretty soon. Don't forget, Montreal's probably going to trade Carey Price's contract. Mm-hmm. And so when Montreal trades Carey Price's contract, I think you're going to see them become a real player in the marketplace.
Yeah.
So there's stuff still going on. I know everybody wants stuff happening quicker, but there's stuff going on.
All right, next question. Alex Ivanovsky, when is like the last true summer getaway for the hockey world before it is time to buckle down for the upcoming season? Labor Day weekend or somewhere around there? Always wondered how that works. Pierre, I feel like Pascal Vincent just alluded that he just got back from vacation and he's back at work today. I feel like last week was it. I think a lot of them are back.
You're right on. I know that for a fact. That's I used to do all the time. But yeah, all right. I'd say they're back now. Getting back.
All right, next question. Bill Van Vagel. Hey guys, who would you consider your all-time fan favorite player for their fan base? Wendell Clark, Tiger Williams, Milan Lucic, Saku Koivu. Where I'm from, I mean, it was when I was growing up, it was like Terry O'Reilly and Cam Neely. Like they just kind of fit that lunch pill.
Tiger Williams, I mean, it's a little before your time.
Right.
In Toronto and in Vancouver, he was larger than life, man.
Famous goal celebration. I know that.
He is larger than life. I'll tell you what, you go around Toronto and you hang out with Wendell Clark, you'll have a good time. Like Wendell's revered. The one night I remember in Montreal, there are a bunch of them. The passing of Mr. Beliveau was tough. Oh, yeah. The honoring of Rocket Richard was really tough. But I'm not sure I've ever been part of anything that was as loud and as passionate as when Saku Koivu came back after battling cancer on the ice in Montreal. I was there for that night, and that was pretty amazing.
That was pretty amazing. For sure. You said if you walk around Toronto with Wendell Clark, you'll have a good time. When we are walking around Belfast with our Belfast Giants crew, I'm sure we're going to have a good time, Pierre. And I don't know about you. I got my email from Cara Group Travel. My flight is booked on Aer Lingus. I'm ready to go. So we will once again want to remind everybody out there that we will be heading to the Friendship for men's and women's. The men's at the end of November, and then the women's will be at the end of December into the new year as well. We will be at both tournaments. Big thanks to Cara Group Travel and the Belfast Giants and all our crew there. Looking forward to that, Pierre. When I got that email, it just becomes even more real. So
yeah, no, I'm so pumped to do it. Robert is such a good friend of ours, Robert Fitzpatrick and Stevie Thornton over there with the Belfast Giants. What a first class organization. Sarah Stanton and Cara, if you ask Sarah to do something, and it's not done within 20 minutes, it's not because she doesn't care, it's because she has about a million other things. Yeah. But usually it's done within 20 minutes. It's unbelievable. She's so good.
She's like, what do they call that position in like the president has, that right-hand person that just gets everything? You know what I mean? She gets everything done.
Oh, she gets everything done right, and she gets it done appropriately quick. Like it's amazing how good she is.
And she's a great person. We're really looking forward to that. And so that's it for our questions. Before we go, Pierre, I want to, not sad, but I want to remember my good friend Russ Conway. Was 6 years ago today that he passed. So was thinking about him today. And then also, on a good note, send a happy birthday out to my brother Will. So Will, if you're watching,
Will.
And thanks to Shane working the boards up there in Montreal. Thanks to you for all your questions there, and for everyone listening and watching. We will see you next week for our final once-a-week show of the summer, and then starting that following Tuesday on the 2nd, we'll start going every day again, 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern.
Do you have another show too that you're starting?
Yeah, can't say anything yet, my friend, but thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I thought
I haven't given the green light to do anything yet, but we'll get to that. Don't you worry.
Well, you let me know if you need any help.
Oh, of course. course. You're my first call. You know that. Right. All right. For everyone out there, enjoy the summer days. They're kind of winding down, but we will talk to you next week here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.